Coming up in this episode of TPW Weekly, I'm going to be sharing news on a surprising ride removal at Drayton Manor. Along with that, we're going to be talking about a huge new expansion and a massive new roller coaster coming to Hershey Park for 2020. And along with that, Efteling have announced that one of its oldest roller coasters is set to be removed and a new ride is set to take its place from 2020. I'm Sean Sandbrook, this is TPW Weekly, and that means it's time to cue those titles. It's Wednesday the 10th of October 2018 and welcome to this week's video. So yes, it's been a couple of weeks since I last did an episode of TPW Weekly. As I mentioned in the last episode, we was going out to Florida. I wanted to make sure that I was getting all those videos on, along with all the Halloween stuff as well. So yeah, we had a great time out there, and as you've probably noticed, lots of different vlogs have gone online over the past few weeks. Of course, we had the last few go on whilst I was travelling to Florida from the trip to the Netherlands. Following that, there's been quite a few vlogs so far from Florida. But don't worry, there's more to come. Obviously, you've seen that I've put some Halloween videos up from when I come back from that Florida trip. Basically, because I want to put the Halloween stuff as well as Florida and sort of one day Halloween, the next day stuff from Florida. So yeah, they're not in order of what they were filmed. But yeah, there is more to come from the Orlando trip, so stay tuned. Yesterday, we put a new vlog on from Epcot. There's already one from Magic Kingdom. Of course, the Halloween events out there. And still to come is Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, Islands of Adventure, Busch Gardens, and SeaWorld, so make sure you stay tuned for all of those vlogs here on the channel. In terms of Halloween videos, good to see you enjoying Scream Park Worldwide so far, and that not so quality acting in the last episode. You enjoyed it. It was just a bit of fun. I like to have a bit of a laugh, and yeah, let's see what happens because I haven't seen that figure. I've come back and the world of theme parks has been restored back to how it is, so maybe that creepy looking figure, what came to the window just over here, isn't going to come back. Hopefully that's all done with and we're not going to see him again over Halloween. But yes, in terms of our Halloween videos, there's lots to come. Our review from Thorpe Park Fright Nights went online last night. I did put in that video and explain why I didn't film a vlog. I was so jet lagged from the Florida trip. But if we do go back during the event, I will film a vlog. But there's so much more to come from Halloween. We did Extreme Scream Park, we've done Scarefest, there's vlogs from both of those, and so much more to come in the next couple of weeks through till early November, so make sure you stay tuned for those. Anyway, there's lots to get through in this week's episode, so it's now time for our creepy news roundup. First off then, let's talk about a surprising announcement from Drayton Manor. Now the park's located in Tamworth, Staffordshire, not too far actually away from where we're based, and I went there a lot as a kid and throughout my teenage years, and I still go there regularly now. I've got a season pass and I enjoy a lot of the rides there. I love Maelstrom, their Intamin Gyro Swing, also the Drop Tower, Apocalypse is absolutely fantastic, and they've got some great other rides too. Let's go back 10 years before Thomas was put in. I felt like the park hit a bit of a rock and they weren't too sure where they were going with things, and of course they opened Thomas Land in 2008. It's been there for 10 years, very successful for them, a brilliant investment. Of course, all sorts of rides in there. There's been expansions ever since, one a couple of years ago where they really expanded the area out onto the car park, and yeah, they've done a great job with it. But now moving on to 2018, I kind of feel a bit like Drayton Manor. I've sort of hit that rock again. Of course, Thomas Land is really good and it's grown really well, but let's just think about the rest of the park for a minute. Quite a few rides have been removed over the past maybe 6 or 7 years. Pirates Adventure was one of my favourites. I really enjoyed that. Excalibur, the boat ride, which was not too far away from there. Obviously most recently the cable car, the Ferris wheel. There's been quite a lot of rides that have been removed. Obviously last year there was a terrible incident on the Splash Canyon Rapids ride that was awful, and of course our thoughts still go out to everyone that was affected by that incident, both at the park and the family involved. But yeah, I kind of feel like with Drayton Manor now, they're struggling to sort of know where to move forward from here, which after such an incident, that is understandable. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they move forward. So I'd like to see your comments down below. But at an event, what actually happened over the weekend, it was revealed by Colin Bryan, OBE, he is the managing director of the park, that a ride is set to be removed, and that is going to be G-Force. Now G-Force is their Marathon X car that opened back in July 2005. It features a vertical chain lift, which is 82 feet, and of course it's got 3 inversions on there as well. Now G-Force, in my opinion, it's not a great roller coaster. I don't think it's going to be a massive loss in terms of, oh no, we're losing this big coaster. But of course you've got to think about Drayton Manor and their ride lineup and what we've lost over the past few years. And yeah, I kind of do feel quite sad knowing that a ride is being removed from the park. G-Force, as much as, you know, jokes aside, I've made some jokes in the vlogs about it over the years, and yeah, it is one of my least favourite roller coasters out there. I always made jokes saying, oh, let's get it removed, let's get it removed. And yeah, it's actually happening. So this could be a really good positive for the park because there's much better ride hardware out there now. Let's throw back to 2005. Obviously Drayton Manor couldn't afford to go to the likes of Intamin for a big roller coaster again, or B&M for example, and go for one of their rides. They needed something cheap. But look back to 2005, what was actually available from manufacturers? Obviously Gerstlauer sort of, yes, they were around, but they came out sort of after that in terms of a lot of the bigger rides. The Eurofighter really expanded after that, for example. So what other choices did they have? Vekoma now have got some brilliant rides that are quite cheap. Look at Let Coaster, what they've built over at Legendia in Poland. So I do think at the time, if other options were available, they would have gone for them. But yeah, the reason why G-Force is set to close is because the parts that are actually needed to fix the ride are ridiculously expensive, and we're talking hundreds of thousands of pounds. And obviously a family funded park, family owned like Drayton Manor, that is a hell of a lot of money. And you've got to think, if things keep breaking, that if it breaks again after a few months or next season, they've got to spend that money again. So I can see why. I bet there's been a lot of meetings going on at Drayton Manor. I can see exactly why they've made this decision, because you've got to think, hang on a minute, if there's that many issues going on with the ride, it's a low throughput one train it's got, anyway, let's look at other options. I just hope that there is other options. I'd like to see another coaster in its place. Whether it's another thrill coaster or not, I don't know. I mean, fitting with the whole Drayton Manor's brand now, it's a very family orientated park. Maybe something from Vekoma like Fly to the Pterosaur at Poulton's Park, some more family coasters to go in its place. But let's see what happens with this one. That is confirmed by Colin Bryan to be happening, but the park are yet to actually release it on their Facebook pages. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. They're going to try and sell the ride, or is it going to go as scrap? I'm really not too sure at the moment, but yeah, it is going to be closing. G-Force at Drayton Manor, I say it's going to be closing, it's already closed. It is going to be removed, we can presume, over at this winter season, so we'll go in next year, and the ride will be gone. But yeah, goodbye to G-Force. I will be doing a bit of a tribute video for it, so make sure you stay tuned for that on the channel. I took quite a bit of footage of it over the years and spoke about it, and yeah, I just want to do a bit of a tribute video looking back on the memories really from G-Force. But there you go, rest in peace 2005 to 2018. You've got to look at it this season. It's not really operating much. It was shut at the start, it's shut again now. You know, it's had that many issues throughout the year where it's hardly operated. So it must be a hard decision for the park to decide to remove such a big coaster. But let's hope there's a plan in place, and from here on in something else is going to come in and replace it. But there you go, comment down below, what are your thoughts on this bit of a shock announcement? What do you think is going to replace it? I would love to know. Comment down below on this video. Next up then, let's talk about Hershey Park and their huge new development for 2020, which is known as Hershey Town. Now this looks absolutely awesome. As I'm talking about it, I'll put some footage of it on your screen, and this is their biggest expansion in the history of the park. This video that I'm showing you's got lots of different concepts in for what they're going to be doing, but effectively this is a brand new entrance area to the park with shops and restaurants. They'll have their biggest retail unit they've ever built at the park. There's going to be the Kisses fountain. Obviously Hershey's Kiss is one of their brands. There's going to be character meets and everything around this fountain. And then the backdrop to all of this, a huge new roller coaster, the 15th coaster at the park, a B&M Hyper. Now we say Hyper, there's no actual specifications to it at the moment. We know it's going to be a B&M Hyper style ride, but it could be a Giga. It could be over 300 foot tall. We don't know that yet. But it's going to be the tallest, fastest and longest coaster in the park. And yeah, also the historic carousel is to be relocated to this area as well. Loving the whole look of this. It's very modern but also quite classic feel to it that I really like. And it's also going to link the Hershey's Chocolate World and Hershey Park together. Now obviously I've not been there, I've not really seen the current entrance other than in a few videos, but I'm sure this will be a big improvement. I mean, I look at Cedar Point, obviously I only went for the first time this year, but their entrance before looked awful, and now obviously they built the B&M Gatekeeper, their wing rider, and of course you've got the two towers where it goes through, the near misses, and it looks beautiful as an entrance. So I assume this is kind of what they're wanting to do here, and have this backdrop of the coaster with this huge new entrance, and I'm sure it's going to look absolutely fantastic. As you've seen there from the footage on your screen, it all looks great. I'm loving the track colour for the B&M, something a bit different, like a chocolatey brown, so that looks interesting, and I'm sure we'll get some more announcements and construction updates from that soon. So as always, I'll keep you up to date here on TPW Weekly. That's opening in 2020 at Hershey Park. Our third and final piece of news in this week's episode comes from Efteling in the Netherlands on a project that's going to open in 2020, and it's going to be a brand new family roller coaster called Max and Moritz. Quite an interesting name. I think they're going to have a lot of theming around this one. Of course, it's Efteling, they always do quality theming. Look at Baron 1898 and Symbolica and loads of the other fantastic rides at the park. But yeah, this is actually going to be a replacement to Bob, their Intamin bobsleigh track. Now that is actually going to be reopening this week because it's been shut for a bit of a refurbishment, but in September 2019 it will be closing and it will be removed from the park to allow for construction of this new double family roller coaster to take place. When I say double, it's basically going to be two tracks but are sort of going to run next to each other. I don't think it's going to be like a dueling coaster like Joris, the wooden coaster for example, but yeah, there is going to be two tracks that are sort of going to run next to each other, which is mainly, I'd assume, for throughput reasons. Now the Intamin bobsled, now you've got to look at the park. They love keeping their historic rides, and that is great. I love parks that do that. Python, their looping coaster, that was completely rebuilt actually for this year. They did all the track other than the lift hill, and yeah, like they wanted to preserve the ride. Like with this, I'm sure they would have kept Bob if they could have, but Intamin physically don't build that type of ride anymore, so unfortunately they've made the decision to remove it. But at the end of the day, it's been there for what, over 30 years, that ride. It's an old attraction, and yeah, they're giving people like a year now to get out there, they've not been yet, or have fond memories, to have plenty of rides on it before they remove the attraction. Now the new ride, Family Coaster, is going to be manufactured by Mack Rides of Germany, and yeah, it's going to be suitable for families. It's going to have a low height restriction so children and families can all enjoy it, and yeah, that's going to be opening in 2020. Because of this, the other brand new area, what's currently in the planning stages at Efteling, will open in 2021. That's set to be located at the back of the park, just round to the right of Vogel Rock, over round by the Efteling Hotel, right at the back over there. That's where they're going to be working on their new area for 2021. So, as always, we'll keep you up to date with all the latest from Efteling and all the other theme parks around the world here on Theme Park Worldwide. So it's been a couple of weeks then since the last one. Of course, it's time for Guess the Ride. Now, I did put a strong emphasis on this one, saying that it might not be a roller coaster, and that's because it's not a roller coaster. Quite a few people were guessing, saying saw the ride at Thorpe Park. But now I can see why, because it sounded like you could hear Jigsaw saying the word die on there. I can see why, and that was in there as a bit of a trick. But it wasn't. It's actually a dark ride, this time from Breen Theme Park. And yeah, it's Terror Castle, their ghost train there. It was a sound clip from that, from the POV that I recorded back in the summer when we went. But there you go. Well done to everyone who did get it right. I think there was only a couple of people. And of course, keep your eyes peeled for this next one, because we're going to have a zoomed in image. So all you need to do is try and guess what this is, comment on the video, and in next week's episode I'll reveal exactly what it was. Here we go then, here's the zoomed in image. Have a little look at that, a nice close look. I'll leave it on there for about 10 seconds for you so you can see it. And yeah, what do you think that ride is that I've zoomed in on? So just a fun comment below on this video, and yeah, I'll reveal exactly what it was next week. So yes, welcome to Mystery Merchandise. This item I actually got on our trip to Florida, and this is from Kissimmee at Old Town, where they've got a couple of attractions. They've got the Slingshot and also Vomitron. The guys there invited us down to go and check it out. We filmed on the rides there, so check out our vlog. And also they gave us all a t-shirt, which is really kind. Obviously, if you've been over to the States before, you'll know they love their crazy design t-shirts. And yeah, look at that there. Obviously, it's got that on there. You can see the Slingshot and Vomitron and like the cartoon style characters on it, and of course down the bottom where their other locations are. But check out the vlog, and of course if you do ever go over to Florida, well worth going there and doing their attractions. They were really good fun, and it's located right next door to Fun Spot as well. We went in there where we also did their roller coaster called Mind Blower. That was really good. We all got our mind blown. It was crazy. But yeah, there you go, and that's the front of it. Obviously that's the back there, and that's the front with the little thing on. I prefer it when it's something small on the front and then the bigger on the back, really. The only issue is with that, when you've got a backpack on, a rucksack, it does cover it up, doesn't it? But there you go. Thanks to the guys there for giving us that. And of course, check out the vlog on the channel if you've not yet seen it. So yes, it has come to the final segment of this week's episode. It is, of course, Interact with the Dead. Ooh, very spooky. So yes, if you have got anything you want to appear in next Wednesday's episode, all you need to do is send it in to us as a message over on our official Instagram page and also on Facebook as well. Just search Theme Park Worldwide and give us a follow whilst you are there. Now, there's over 30 items to get through this week. Obviously, it's been a couple of weeks since the last episode. So many photos and birthdays to get through. So let's get started, shall we? Firstly, with Rob outside Valhalla at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. We then got Jason with a Heidi on-ride photo. Moving on, we've got Dennis outside Phoenix there at Toverland. And then we've got Zach at Portaventura there. Moving on, we've got Ethan with a Smiler on-ride photo. And also Brad with a Smiler on-ride photo there as well. Next up then, we've got Laura in the Phoenix station at Toverland. Thanks for sharing that one. And then we've got Barry with an icon on-ride photo there from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. We've then got Matthew with a speed on-ride photo there from Oakwood in Wales. Hope you had a good time. And then we've got Alex and Jenny outside the Smiler there as well. So thanks for sharing that one. Next up, we've got Ken with a Vogel Rock on-ride photo from Efteling. Can't wait to get back there, hopefully this winter. And then next up, we've got Joe with a 13 cake just there. Moving on, we've got Clayton and Danny with a selection of Chessington World of Adventures on-ride photos. Looks like you had a fun time. And then we've got Katie with a Scorpion Express on-ride photo, also there from Chessington. Next up, Harrison with a Rock and Roller Coaster on-ride photo. And then we've got Carl with an Apocalypse on-ride photo there as well. Moving on, we've got Rufus, who had a photo there with Harry. Hope I said your name right there. And I'm glad you got to meet Harry Turnstiles himself at Alton Towers. They got Martin with a Stampeder on-ride photo. Hey, there you go. Thanks, Martin, for sending that one in for us here on Theme Park Worldwide. We then got George, who had a photo there with Harry. So thanks for sending that one in. And then we've got Lola at the Pleasure Beach looking at old ride parts. Oh, how cute. Obviously from the car park, you can see all the old ride parts, what they keep there. And there you go. Thanks for sending that one in. Then got Simon up next with a Splash Mountain on-ride photo. Look like you're having a good time there. And then we've got Hayden with a photo there on the Beast. Next up, we've got Luke with a Kingda car on-ride photo. So thanks for sending that one in to us. Hope to ride that at some point soon. Then we've got Liam who had a photo there with me and Alex. Also had a photo with me and Alex. You've got Justin. It was great to meet you all. So thanks for sending those in. And then we've got Jenny on Swarm Island at Thorpe Park. There we go. And then Jack and Chloe up next on Mumbo Jumbo. Thanks for sending that one in. Then got Richard with an icon on-ride photo at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Hope you enjoyed it. Then got Bob who had a photo with Mr. Leewood, everybody. Yeah, glad you got to see him there. So thanks for sending that one in. Then got Luke at Halloween Horror Nights. So thank you for sharing that. Hope you had a spooky time. Then got Joey with a Galactica on-ride photo there from Alton Towers. Next up, Philippa, who had a photo with me and Charlotte. We both loved meeting you, so thank you very much for chatting to us and, of course, sending in your photo. Next up, Sam outside Wicker Man at Alton Towers. Then got Johnny with an icon on-ride photo from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. And then we've got Aaron with an American Adventure mug. There we go, that's all for your photos. And now it's time for the birthday. So a big happy birthday to all of these people from me and Charlotte and all the friends of ours here at Theme Park Worldwide. Happy birthday to Stacey, Luke, Zach, Chloe, Lawrence, James, Mark, Tristan, and also to Aidan as well. Thanks for watching Theme Park Worldwide, and of course if it's your birthday or a special occasion, get it sent in for next week. Maybe it's your friend's birthday, you can surprise them, send it in to us, I'll read out the name and you can get them to watch their next week's episode. There we go, thank you very much for watching. I'll be back next Wednesday with another episode of TPW Weekly here on Screen Park Worldwide. That means it's time to spook those credits. See you later.